Josh Brigette here with head coach Dylan Zaborowski in his second year at the helm of the Columbia Central Golden Eagles. And coach, talk about, last year came in a little bit late. Nice opportunity for you just to have a full year with your program. What has this offseason been like now that you knew that you were going to have a chance to coach this football team for a full season?
Yeah, not necessarily late last year, but I think, as a first-year head coach, you really do learn a ton. You learn what works, what didn't work, what maybe we got to tweak a little bit to work better for the following year. This offseason's been great. We've had great numbers. We've been 30 to 40 kids every single time in the weight room at our off-season practices, our camp. So it's been really productive off-season, and I think we were miles ahead of where we were last year going into the season. So it's been good, no doubt.
And the results on the field last year weren't what you want, 1-8 in the season, but I think there was a lot of closer games than that 1-8 record would show. Can you talk about kind of last year's experience, how it's prepared this team for this year?
Yeah, there was a ton of really close games, a lot of competitive games, and going into the year, obviously the previous year, before I got there at Columbia, we didn't win a single game, right? So I think it's kind of baby steps. I thought last year I never wanted to really put a win total on. Hey, we got to get to 5 wins. We got to get to 6 wins. The goal is always to be competitive, and I think we were. We won the Onstead game, which was a big one for us. A close school, kind of a rival there. But shoot, even going back to week 1, we were up on Napoleon at halftime. A team that made it to the state semifinals, and even to the very end of the year. We finished with Blissfield, and we were down at halftime, came back, had a chance to win it on the 5-yard line at the end of the game, and, the ball didn't bounce our way. But I think that was part of the growth from last year is, we were super competitive, and it showed. The guys, like I said, going into those last couple games could have easily just said, we've won 1 game this year, we're ready to pack it in, and that wasn't the case. They battled all year long and got a lot of guys coming back, so we're looking forward to it.
Speaking of guys coming back, let's start with the offense and talk about that this year. You got a lot of experience coming back on your offensive line, good experience in the backfield. You are going to replace your quarterback, but can you talk about your expectations for the offense this year?
Yeah, offensively, I'm expecting really good things, really big things from this group. We returned all but 1 starting offensive lineman from last year on a group that I thought was, pretty solid for us. And I think they've only gotten better and physically stronger going into the year. Our running backs, we returned both our starting running backs. Both those guys, Braden and Colton are really good players for us, and we expect them to be even better, going into this year. We return our top 2 receivers from the previous year. So, obviously the quarterback position is something that is the biggest position on the team, right? So we kind of go as the quarterback position goes, and most teams do. And, that'll be a spot that I feel pretty comfortable at. We got a senior that I think is going to do a heck of a job if he's given the chance. And we got a couple guys that started on JV last year as well that are battling for that spot. But I don't think there should be much of a fall off at that position. So.
And then let's flip over to the defensive side. Not as much experience coming back. Got some more holes to fill. A big one at linebacker that you guys got to replace. But talk about your expectations for your defense.
Yeah, defensively, it was an up and down year for us last year, no doubt. And same thing offensively. But defensively, we got a lot of guys coming back again. Most of our defensive line, most of the guys that started last year are back. We did lose our starting middle backer who. He was our everything defensively last year. He led us in tackles. He led the state in tackles, which obviously is a lot to replace. But we have a couple guys that have been working really, really hard this offseason that I think will be ready to step up. And obviously, I don't know that there's going to be one guy necessarily that'll replace Ty from last year for us, but I think it's going to be a combination of guys, and that's okay. That's all right for us. And but yeah.
So this year, week 2, which is weird to say, week 2 when you play Napoleon, always a big game, but typically a non-conference game. We're going to welcome you to the Cascades Conference for the first time. Talk about what that means for your team to join a new league and what that will do with your schedule. It just kind of changes the teams that you're used to playing.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting for sure, right? Usually Napoleon, game 1, week 1, and everyone kind of gears up for that. And no doubt we're still going to gear up for it, but it's just going to be pushed back a week. We start off with Adrian Madison, a non-conference game, a team that finished the year strong last year. They won 5 straight games, I believe, to end the year. And then we're going to go into Napoleon. We're going to be ready to go. We were competitive last year. Coach Shell obviously had a heck of a year over there last year at Napoleon, but we'll be ready to go. The Cascades is going to be fun. It's a place that I played as a player. It's a place I coached my first few years of coaching. I'll get to play against Michigan Center, my old stomping grounds, and my old head coach. That'll be a lot of fun week 3. So it'll be cool. It'll be a lot of familiar faces that I've kind of seen in that league, and I think it'll be good for us.
Coach Zaborowski leading the Columbia Central Golden Eagles week 1. They're going to play Adrian Madison, and then they step right in with Napoleon and new Cascades Conference play. Coach, best of luck this year.
Thank you.